Namaste. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. I'm just going to touch base with everybody and hope that the storm yesterday that passed and is kind of still here treated you well. I found that it was a very interesting storm because technically it was a tropical storm Isaiah, or I-S-A-I, like Isaiah without the H, an S. I guess that's a different version of Isaiah. Anyway, the breezes were strong and gusty. The sky was gray and cloudy. The rain came and went in nice heavy downpours, and then it lightened up, and that kind of went on and on and on for the whole day and the night, and it's continuing today here on Thursday. But it was never feeling uncomfortable. I didn't even feel like there was any lightning or thunder. The dogs didn't get upset, and we just let the doors open and the fresh breeze blow through. Morning, Cindy. Thank you for joining me. And the fresh breeze blew through the house, and it felt very healing and cleansing and very feng shui. So I hope that you also enjoyed the experience of this fairly gentle tropical storm that passed us by. I hope you don't have too much branches down in the yard that you have to clear out today, and that you can just have a great day today and continue to kind of enjoy that it's a little cooler here today for July. This is a coolerish day. And I'm going to go ahead and back away from the camera and start the yoga today now. I hope you are able to find yourself on a yoga mat and you can relax in a seated position. Don't have to have your legs crossed, of course. You can even be in a chair or on a sofa or on a bench. It's great to be able to straighten your back though, so do try to sit tall. You may want to reach back and pull flesh away from your sitting bones so you feel a nice connection down into the earth. And here we go. We close the eyes, and every inhalation sit a little taller. Every exhalation, let your shoulders sink down farther away from your ears so the neck stays nice and long. The top of the head is lifting up. The spine is straight all the way from tailbone to neck. The head rests neutral on the top of the spine. A little circular joint there for the head to sit on top of the spine. But keep those shoulders relaxed and heavy. Inhale, stretching tall, reaching up at the top of the head. Exhale, arms and shoulders sink down, hanging. Let's start with a simple prayer pose. Hands together in front of the heart, bow the head just a little bit. And as you inhale, lift the hands up. We're not going to really stretch right now. We're just going to let the breath and the movement be significantly tied together. As you inhale, the hands rise up to some place overhead, wherever feels good to you right now. And exhale, it comes sinking down to the heart, and at the very end of your exhalation, your head should bow. Let's do that 3 times. Sacred meditation and movement, breathing in and out. Eyes closed, focus inward. Checking in with yourself. How do you feel? This time, let's breathe in, lift the hands up, and open the eyes. Look up at the ceiling, separate your hands and wiggle your fingers. Breathe in as much as you can. Really expand your rib cage in all directions. Maybe rotate at the wrists as you exhale. And let the hands slowly come down. We're turning the hands palm up, palm down, palm up, palm down. Breathe in, breathe out. Slow it down. See if you can bring your hands more than palm up, maybe palm looking outward. Exhale, rotate the hands around, maybe turn them farther than palm down, palm out again, or maybe even back up again. The elbows rising up. Breathe like that 3 more times. All right, just a good way to wake yourself up and get tuned in. Let's straighten out the legs now. Stretch your legs straight out. Again, you may want to pull the flesh away from the sitting bones, connecting your weight through your pelvis points and the bones of the hips down into the earth. And flex those ankles. Try to get the legs nice and straight if possible. And we're just going to rub from thigh to ankle with both hands, sort of stroking the length of the leg as you bend forward. Look down at your knees. As you come up, look up at the ceiling or the top of the wall. Allow yourself to breathe deeply as you move forward and back, reaching for your feet, coming down, coming back up. Inhale. Up, and let's change the leg position just a little bit now. We'll open up the feet just about 1.5 feet, or a little wider than your shoulders are. Shoulders are about here, my feet are about here. Now we're going to turn the legs out, so put your hands inside your knees and just push your knees away and feel like the whole bones and everything roll a little bit from hip socket to toes. Toes now point out, heels kind of are still in. Knees can bend slightly. In fact, try and get your knees to bend just a hair. And we're going to reach for those ankles again and slowly let yourself fall forward, round your back, and let your head be heavy and just be soft. Let gravity pull the head down and the rest of the body follow suit like a line of dominoes that get pushed over. The head goes, the shoulders go, the back goes. Try to relax. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. Every time you breathe out, sink down a little deeper. It's time to come up. We just put our hands on the floor between the legs and walk back up, push the body back up. Nice. Let's bend the left leg in and bring that heel somewhere in. It doesn't have to be all the way up into the groin. It could be at way out, but hopefully the knee is bent. So that's the plan. The right leg is straight, the left leg is sitting with a bent knee, and both hips are on the ground, close to equal. It may not be possible to get them equal. Chances are you have more weight on your left hip than your right hip, but to try to push both hips down as you lift through the spine, lift the sternum up. Think about your heart rising up with pride and joy in your chest. At the same time, your shoulders and your torso sinking down like melted candle wax. allowing the flame of your heart to rise up. Everything else melts away. Top of your head also rising up, shoulders relaxed, and back and down. Keep that beautiful posture as you stretch your right hand towards your right ankle. We're just going to let ourselves fold over sideways. The head goes sideways. Try not to stress out your neck. If this is hard for your neck, you can give yourself a little support in the hand that reaches towards the long leg. Let's take this left hand and stretch it straight out from the shoulder. Slowly as you inhale, reach it up towards the ceiling. And just leave it here, reaching for the ceiling straight up from your armpit as you breathe. This may be where some of you stay, and this is great. Don't worry about it. This is fine. But some of you may feel an urge to push against the leg on your right hand and bring the chest up to a more vertical position, maybe even looking slightly up towards the ceiling, towards your left hand. Three breaths, take a breath, stretching up. Exhale, sinking down. Reach up as you breathe in, sink down as you exhale. Active breathing, connected to your yoga. In fact, your breathing is the heart of your yoga. And now, if you want, you can stretch over the ear, reaching for the wall on the other side of your right foot, and really feel a great stretch through the whole rib cage area on the side. And then you come back up. That was fairly intense, so let's take it slow. Roll the shoulders a little bit, and eventually coming into the right leg bent in, the left leg stretched out at an ankle. And when you're ready, we slide the hand along the left leg, reaching for the ankle area. And just let your right hand rest on your thigh or your knee. Let the head go sideways and feel a gentle sideways bend over the left leg. The head is sideways. If this is too hard on your neck and head, just support yourself with your hand like so. And then we're going to take the right hand out and reach it up, straight up from the shoulder. Breathe. And then straight up towards the ceiling, right above the shoulder. Breathe. Take it easy. Don't feel like you're beyond your limits. Never go beyond your limits. Appreciate your limits. And now, some of you, this is far enough. Others may feel an urge and they want to explore pushing against the leg on the inside of the leg and bringing the torso up a little bit higher. Maybe even look up towards your right hand. Reach up. Breathe in. Exhaling, sinking down. Reaching up, inhale. Sink down as you exhale. Active breathing, connected to the movement, to the yoga, leading the yoga. And then for a final stretch, if you choose to reach over the ears, stretch through the side body. 2 breaths here. And then we reach the arm up. Slowly come back up. Wow, that was quite intense. Let's roll the shoulders and tuck both legs in again. Let's do a little bit of shoulder neck work this Thursday morning. starting with just a simple shoulder roll over the back, over the top to the front. So we go under to the back, up and forward. And as you roll your shoulders, breathe. And let's go over the top to the back now. Really squeeze those shoulder blades and breathe in as you squeeze up and back. Breathe out as you go down and forward. And squeeze it back. Let the arms be heavy. Lift the top of the head up. And we're just going to, at this point, look left and right over the shoulder. Find your full range of motion for your neck. Don't judge yourself if it's a little bit constricted or limited on one side. Just appreciate the movement you have and breathe. Keep your shoulders down and relaxed. Focus inward. Think about that neck. Send it love and appreciation and understanding. Find your full range of motion. Acknowledge where the edge of your range of motion is. Acknowledge it. Say, okay, that's where you are. I see that. And then come back. You may notice that I'm a little bit limited on my left side. It doesn't go as far on my left as it does on my right. But you know what? I'm grateful for every millimeter of movement that I have, because I always know it could be worse. And I am grateful for what I have. Sometimes I think about, you know, oh, I wish I had stronger arms, or I wish I had more svelte torso, or I wish this, or I wish that. I'm the same as everybody else. We all do that. But then I tell myself, 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, I'd probably give anything to have the body I have right now. Maybe even if I'm lucky, 20 years from now, I'll be looking at the mirror and going, oh, I wish I had the body I had back in 2020 when I was such and such an age. Yeah, that's normal. But if you can project yourself in the future and think about how you'll feel about now, the decisions you make right now, the gratitude that you have right now, the way that you live your life, hopefully you can imagine yourself in the future, looking back to yourself now and being happy with what you have now. That's how I live. Alright, so now we have rested our shoulders a little bit. We're going to do the turtle, which means the chin comes forward. At the same time, you may think slightly about sending your shoulders back. A slight squeeze in the shoulder blades back there. Squeeze, shoulders back, elbows back. Chin comes forward. Gentle. Chin comes back. Push the chin way back. At the same time, bring the shoulders forward and really spread the shoulder blades in the back away from each other. Feel them spreading forward. If you want, you can even reach your fingers forward as you send the back of your head back. Your chin goes back. Turtle sticks his head back in his shell. And slowly the shoulders go back, squeeze the shoulder blades, elbows go back, chin comes forward. Back and forth 3 times now that you know what we're doing. All right, hands rest on knees. Look left and right. Take a few breaths in and out as you look left and right. So now we're going to tilt the head sideways, and the ear is thinking about coming close to the shoulder, but the shoulder doesn't rise up to the ear. Dropping the head over, and you can see my head does not tilt sideways. It only goes about 45 degrees, but that's okay. Up we go as we breathe in. At the top, exhale, and inhale again. And exhale, bring that ear down towards the shoulder, but don't bring the shoulder up to meet the ear. Wherever your range of motion is, acknowledge the edge of it. How does that feel at the edge of your range? Do you feel like that's as far as you could go, no matter how far you would do yoga? This would always be your limit? Or do you feel like your muscles and tendons could stretch a little more? You may be at the edge, and that's possible. It happens. Even if you did yoga for every day for 2 years, you still wouldn't go much farther than that, because it's where the bones are. It's your anatomy. That's something to be aware of. You can tell the difference between a muscle stretching and a tendon stretching and the bones saying, this is it for me, I'm not going any farther than this unless you break me, which we ain't doing. Let's do it back and forth a few more times now that we've got the neck pretty much understanding the movement. Match your breath to your movement. And that brings us back up and a prayer pose for gratitude. Beautiful. Hands to the fingertips to your shoulders, and let's do the elbows like we're riding a bicycle. So they're coming over the top and over the top, like pedaling around the bicycle in sort of like an opposite move. This would be unison, which is also good, but right now we're doing opposition. All right, hands to prayer pose, push it up, breathe in, and spread the arms wide, straight out from your shoulders. Imagine you're in the middle of a tug of war and people are pulling you left and right. You can look towards the side that pulls you, and I'm going to scoot back a little bit. As you do that, keep going with tug of war move. More times, tug of war right and left. 2 times right and left. 1 more time. Arms reach up, breathe in, touch your fingers over your head, turn your hands palm out, push down, breathe out. Breathe it all out and squeeze the belly in, force all the old air out. Palms up, breathe in. Bring in fresh new air. Touch your fingers over your head, palms out, blow it out. Squeeze the belly. 1 more time. Breathe in. Put our hands down. Straighten out the legs. And this time we're going to pull the flesh away from the sitting bones. Straighten the legs nice and straight and reach for your toes or your ankles or your shins. Wherever you're able to reach, grab a hold and pull. Feel the body bringing the lower back flat. The belly is really close to your upper thighs. The chest rises up, top of the head lifting up. You could maybe look at the top of the wall across the room or straight across the room. Beyond your toes, eyes could be horizontal or aimed up. Wherever it is, really focus on that spot on the wall or in the distance as you pull against the length of your legs and feel your lower back get flat. At the same time, your chest expands and lifts up, shoulders away from those ears. Pull with your arms. Maybe feel a delicious stretch in the hamstrings. I hope so. If it's too much, don't do it. The legs and bring yourselves back up. It's about time to go ahead and lay on the mat. So we'll sink down onto our backs with the knees bent. And the mat always wants to have little bumbles in it. All right. So here we go. We are laying on our back and our knees are bent. Heels are a little bit close to the hips. Arms out to the side wherever feels good. You may choose to rest your knees against each other so you can just focus on your body's weight on the ground. Relax, feel heavy. Notice the parts of the body that take your body weight into the earth. Take a minute to consider the fact that the earth is pressing up on you with an equal amount of force at those same points. That's physics, folks. Ooh, good stuff. All right, let's drop both knees to the left and let your knees be heavy. If this doesn't work for you, you may open the knees up a little bit, move the feet farther away from the hips. Find a spot, a sweet spot somewhere where you can relax and you feel a decompression in your hips, lower back, and thighs. And make sure both arms are extended out in a comfortable position. Palms of the hands reaching up. Fingers naturally curled a little bit. And then slowly we pick the knees up and let them drop the other way. Find your new normal on this side, sinking down, letting go. Keep your mind focused on how your hips feel right now. And every time they say anything, just tell them to let go and relax. Bring those knees up and let's put the feet fairly close to the hips. Bring the hands alongside the body, fingers pointing towards your heels. Palms are down on the mat now. And take a moment to really get your shoulders flat. So pick one shoulder up and then put it back down. Then the other shoulder. And then the hips, put them back, pick them up, put it back down. Make sure your whole back feels nice and flat against the floor. And here we arch the back up and make a bridge in here. And then we bring the bridge flat against the ground and tilt the pelvis. Pick the tailbone up just a hair and squeeze the belly in. So the hands are reaching towards the fingers are reaching towards the heels, and we're just rocking the pelvis. Exhale when the tailbone comes up. Inhale when the spine rises up like a bridge. This time as we push the back flat against the floor, don't necessarily pick the tailbone up, but just continue to push down against the floor. Squeeze the buttocks in, squeeze the thighs, squeeze the kegel inside the groin, squeeze the belly in, squeeze the waist, and hold. Keep breathing. Try to keep this compression in your lower abdomen and thighs and hips out of your chest. Chest is light and easy, continuing to breathe normal. Or close to normal, maybe hard when you're squeezing so much, but try to breathe light and easy. Shoulders not tight. Squeeze is all from the belly button to the knees. Nothing above the belly button is compressed. It's quite the challenge to do it right. And then we're just going to relax and both knees to the left. Relax. Here we can turn the palms up again. Relax. Bring your awareness awareness to your last vertebrae all the way down the bottom of your spine and tell it to relax. And then you can bring both knees all the way over to the other side. Again, find your attention directed to your tailbone area between your hips. Lowest part of the spine. Ask it to relax. Let go. Beautiful. Knees come up. Let's bring those knees all the way to the chest. Hands on the knees. Squeeze and release. Breathing out as you squeeze the legs in. Inhale as you release the legs away. And let's bring the hands to the knees. Let the knees separate just a little bit and rock left and right. Rock left and right. Beautiful. We're keeping it easy and gentle today. Stretch the legs up, stretch the arms up, reach the fingers and toes towards the ceiling. If the legs are a little bit bent, that's okay. Do what you can. Let's rotate the ankles and the wrists around a little bit, breathing in and out. Change direction, continue to breathe. And we're going to bend the knees, bend the elbows, bring the hands and feet down and push it up. Visualize that there's something heavy on each arm and leg. Each hand and foot has a heavy weight on it. One of those big weights from the gym that they use on barbells, those big circular weights. Each one has one. They're very heavy. As you push it up, visualize how hard it is to push it up. And maybe if you really visualize good, your head will come off the ground because you're really pushing it up and it's hard. And then when it comes down, it's still heavy. It's pushing you down. If you visualize it, your body will build strength in the bones, in the muscles, in the ligaments, in the attitude. Strength without having to use weights. Just imagine. Push it up. Bring it down. Let's do it 10 more times. 10. 9. 8. It's heavy, push it up. 7. It's still heavy. 6. Even on the way down, you feel that weight. 5. Push it up. Let it come down. 4. Up and down. 3. Up. It's heavy. Push it down. Let it come down. Push it up. Last time, and this makes 10. After it comes up, imagine the weights are gone, and just let your arms and legs wander freely. You can rest your head again, and just let your arms and legs be completely blowing in the breeze like a tall grass on the hillside. Each one is independent of each other, moving randomly, gracefully, gently. Slowly bring those beautiful long limbs down to the ground and spread out however feels delicious to you right now. Maybe you want to do the starfish on the beach pose. Maybe you want to have your arms up in surrender. Let your breath be easy, slow, deep. let your mind fill with peace, no worries. I know it's really hard these days to not have worries, but for this 1 hour a day, your yoga hour, let the worries dissipate out and blow away with the breeze. We're going to be in Savasana or some version of Savasana for a few more minutes. Fill your mind with peace. Trust in the universe. Good for you. Okay, let's try to maneuver ourselves over onto a side body rest. A little bit like the fetal position, no? Bending the knees and having the knees stacked together. Upper hand rests on your thigh. I'm on my left side, so my direction is going to be occasionally acknowledging that my right arm is raising up. If you are right now on your right side and it's your left, it's fine. But just be aware that I may slip and say, instead of upper hand, I may say right hand. Instead of upper leg, I may say right leg. I do that sometimes. You know what I mean. The upper. So we are resting in side position. We feel balanced and at ease. If you are in need of a pillow for your head, you can certainly have one. If that makes it easier for you to relax on your side, do that. And when you're ready, we're going to take the top hand and reach it out, and the top leg and reach it out. Reach through your fingertips away from your shoulder. Reach through your heel or your midfoot, but not your toes. Don't point your toes. And then we lift as we breathe in. And go as far as is good for you. It may just be to here or here. That's fine, whatever your range of motion is. If you come up to vertical, that's awesome. And you may find you can do a little bit beyond vertical. And then as you exhale, sink it back down. And the whole purpose of this exercise is to try and get the breath and the movement in perfect unison while the mind stays calm and peaceful. Slow and controlled, maybe even graceful. Breathing in, we reach up. Exhale, we sink back down. Your arm and leg can be almost like a gas gauge in your car. They tell you how much gas is in your tank. Here, your arm and leg tell me, or somebody looking at you, how much air is in your lungs. Here we are at empty all the way down. Inhale. Wherever your halfway mark is for your range of motion, your lungs are half full of air. And when you go to all the way full, you're fully extended. Your inhalation should be at its maximum, and then you exhale again. Perfect unison of breath and movement. I'll stay quiet so you can focus. Breathe and move. We're going to do a small modification to this movement. Let the leg and arm come down. Just lift the arm up to overhead. And then as you breathe in, lift both arm and leg to touch together at the top, or maybe crisscross. And then exhale, they go down. And at the end of your exhalation, lift this part of the torso off the ground and stretch through this side. Stretch. Come down. This part of the torso will sink back down as the arm and leg rise up. Crisscross or touch. Exhale, they go down, and we stretch. Twice more. Let's do that. Beautiful. Bend the knee and grab it in front of your chest. Lay it down on the ground. And the lower leg straightens out. You may sort of turn that thigh so the thigh is down on the ground. And we go ahead and just find a position that works for you to rest. A gentle spinal twist. You may ask your shoulder to come back towards the floor and your chest to look up at the ceiling. Arms open out to the side. Stay in your spinal twist as long as you need to. When you're ready, we'll come back onto the side resting position. If you feel the need, you can give yourself a little massage on your hips, give some thanks to the flanks, and then eventually we'll roll over onto the belly. Find yourself on your belly in a Savasana-like pose where you're totally relaxed. Maybe your big toes point in towards each other and the heels are out. Think about letting your shoulders be heavy and sinking down towards the floor, and find a perfect position for your arms. You may choose to lay with your head turned to one side and your face lying on your cheek or temple. Or if that doesn't work for you, you can bring your forehead to the mat. You can have a pillow if you need right now. That's fine. Face down Savasana. Let yourself be heavy. Don't hold any tension in the body. Shoulders sink down to the floor. Relax. When you're ready, let's bring the head up. Arms out to the side, lifted from the shoulders to the fingertips, lifted up, head is up. And the legs are going to rise up, but not bend the knees. Lift them from the hips. Airplane pose, strong back, lift the face, but don't stress the neck. Squeeze the buttocks and lift the legs a little higher. And down, let's rest. And let's prepare for another airplane pose. Arms out to the side, the head is up, legs are lifted from the hips. Squeeze the buttocks, Squeeze the mid back. Lift the face, but don't stress the neck, and keep your shoulders away from your ears. Keep your neck long, arms away from the ears. Hold and breathe. Keep breathing. And relax. Find yourself relaxed. Now you have three choices here. You can either continue to rest, you can do the airplane pose again, or you can do the bowstring. So we're going to show you the bowstring here. I'm bending my knee and grabbing back, grabbing my sort of top of the foot with my hand, and same thing on the other side. Pulling up the feet and hands up. Stirring yourself like a bowstring. Breathe. And slowly coming down. Hands under shoulders. Push back to pose of a child. Bring those knees into the chest. Arms can reach forward beyond what you think you can reach. Walk your fingers away and then let them drag back as your head drops down towards your knees. Relax that neck. Let your head be heavy. Relax everything. Oh, nice. We're going to come down to side resting pose again. The other side, obviously. This time I'm on my right side and left side is up. Make sure you feel completely at ease and comfortable in a beautiful resting position. Left hand resting on the hip, knees are stacked. Take a minute to just relax. You should feel balanced and at ease. Beautiful. Let's stretch the top hand out, fingers reaching for the distant wall. Take that top leg and stretch it out. Reach through the heel or the midfoot. Don't point the toe in this exercise. And we lift together, smooth and slow. Find your full range of motion. And of course, we're going to marry this movement to breath, so breathing in as the arm and leg rise up. Exhale on the way down. Let the breathing be in charge of the arm and leg. Take your time. And this time maybe leave the hand up by the ear, up by the head, drop that leg down, and inhaling, bring them up to touch at the top or crisscross, and exhale, they go down. They're separate ways. Remember, we're going to put a little stretch into that final down position. So this part of the body lifts up off the ground, weight on the shoulder and hip, the midpoint of the waist area and the rib cage area, lift. Stretch the arm overhead and the leg to the distant wall through the heel for a delicious stretch through the hips, the IT band, the waist, and the rib cage and the armpit. Beautiful stretch. Breathe. And then we come up, breathing in, touch or crisscross, exhale down, and stretch. That stretch, I have to admit, does sort of hamper putting in the synchronicity of the breath and movement. Because when I stretch, I definitely want to inhale. And then I'm exhaling when I'm lifting my arm and leg. But you know what? As long as you're breathing at this point and moving, I think it's fine. 3 more times. Nice and slow. To modify that actually works better, breathing the opposite way of the arms and legs for this part of the exercise. Let's bend the knee and grab the knee in your hand. Place it on the ground in front of your chest. The lower leg then straightens out and the shoulder reaches back. Open up your chest to the ceiling, arms out to the side. Anywhere is fine. As long as you can sink into a deep relaxation and breathe. Beautiful. Let's come back to side resting pose. Rub the hip. And then we're going to roll back onto the belly. Hands under the shoulders. Push yourself back up into tabletop position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, strong arms and hands. Arch the back and drop the head. Lift the face and sway the back down. Lift the tailbone. Match your breathing to your movement. Take your time. Go back and forth, up and down. Sway and arch. Cat and cow. Breathing in and out. Times back and forth. Beautiful. Come back to a strong table, look around one shoulder, and find the hip with your eyes. You may not actually see it, but you're looking for it. That's the most important thing. Go the other way around the other shoulder and stick that hip out, back and forth. Breathe as you move. Bend one elbow and then the other as you look for the hip around the shoulder. 3 more times. And then we switch back to the cat and cow stretch, arching up, swaying down. Let's put the elbows down on the ground and try a little puppy dog stretch. Puppy dog stretch is a lot like downward dog, but you're on your knees and your elbows instead of your hands and feet. Let the hips flare up and out and facing back. Bring the face and the chest down. And then back up onto hands and knees, arch and slow. Let's go side to side again, looking for the hip around the shoulder. And then back to arch and sway. So now we're back into cat and cow. Let's bring the right knee forward. You may want to walk your hands one step forward and then bring the right knee forward up into the pigeon pose. You're sinking back onto the front of the left thigh, the back thigh, you're on the front. Sink that hip down. Push away with your hands, lift your chest, your sternum up and forward. Shine your heart forward. Shoulders away from those ears. Breathe. And then sink back onto your right hip and face into almost like a straddle sit. It is a straddle sit. Then we bend the left leg and rotate around to do pigeon on the other side. Push away with the hands, lift the sternum up, shine your heart forward, ears away from your shoulders, shoulders away from your ears, top of the head reaching up. Breathe. Try to get that right thigh down on the floor, that right hip sinking down. And swing your weight back onto your left hip and come back around to facing forward. You can sit in any way that feels good to you right now. Thank you so much. Hey, yesterday during the little tropical storm that we had that was so spiritual for me, I felt very connected to a lot of energy, and I talked to some friends, they felt the same way. So maybe we just needed a little blowout, you know? I wrote a little, it's not really a poem, but I thought I would share it with you. Tropical Storm Isaiah here today. Fresh winds gusting, gray skies. All the doors are open. Blow away the stale and stagnant. So that's talking about weather, but you know, weather is a metaphor for your emotions, your mental health. So take it in, clear away the stale and stagnant, take a moment for gratitude, trust the universe and find peace. It's there for you. Sending you all my love, my most sincere namaste.